I've had things said to me that you'd be shocked at. There was a time when a lot of martial art movies were, yeah, really big deal. And I would be called into studio heads who wanted my help in finding the white me.
No,
I
thank
swear,
you.
I swear on everything. Not many places are allowed to say, we're going black here or we're going white here. This was an industry that even my manager is fine with that talk because
I
part of
get
the
it.
whole thing. Oh,
Yeah,
we're
they're
going
looking
black.
for a black. They're looking for a white.
So
Mine
that's
too.
so that's part of it, right? And so
Yeah.
I remember, one executive saying, "Man, you could be as big as Tom Cruise. Too bad you're black."
Now I will never be your hater, I'm your biggest fan. I hope it falls into place just how you planned it. Life could put you in a pickle, just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber died trying. You see the thumbnail, you saw the clip. Check it out. Michael Jai White. I remember that from some before too, so I'm glad I saw it again. This is the, you would be bigger if you weren't black. And for all you guys who make content on YouTube or whatever like that, y'all know everybody says that they've been shadow banned. Is it true for everybody? No, because a lot of big people swear that they're shadow banned, but they're big already. You get what I'm saying? It's like, well, how did you get big? And a lot of people play the game of, well, that black person is successful, so hey, all of you black people have the opportunity. And it's like, no. And with Michael Jai White, and I forget the young lady in the interview, young woman, I forget her name, but when you heard them talking about the part where they say, I got a manager, my manager, they're cool with these conversations. 9 times out of 10, their manager's not black, just in my opinion, okay? And they are cool with these racial conversations because people will say, well, we're looking for somebody black today, or somebody this today, or somebody that. So now you show up. Now the thing about it that it doesn't really bug me, but I've seen so many times where you have black people and non-black people say, well, I've never done, black people's problem is this, and black people need to stop doing this. I saw one clip of a white guy, or was he black guy? He might have been a white guy. He said some Asian people told him that, what black people's problem is? They're concerned about everybody else and not black people. We're not concerned about black people. And then stuff like this is out at the same time. And people go, yeah, you have black people who play the game where, who play the quote unquote, let's just do this conservative and liberal political thing. You're taking a side on one side or the other side. I don't care if it's liberal or conservative. You're either enabling a trope or disparaging a trope at some white people's behest for you to boost yourself up to be successful. And then all of a sudden we'll go, but what if, can anybody else do that? No, because they're not quote unquote black, right? So you're a puppet for other people's agenda. There's a reason why I brought that in there. Just bear with me. And when you look around and you go, how come this person is good? This person is great. But how come they're not on that level? And then you go, could race have something to do with it? Absolutely. And people go, well, racism doesn't exist. It's like even black people who race bait on the conservative side are race baiting for white people who don't like black people. Let them say whatever they want, but next video is gonna come out. Well, black people, what about them black people? It's like, your audience isn't black, so how does this keep coming up? Oh, okay, it's like softcore Klan material. I got you. But it's like, why don't you just make your own content that has nothing to do with all this stuff? Then all of a sudden, dip, because, hey, I want somebody black to do it. Now, getting back, bringing this home in a sense. It's hard to replace greatness. And in America, it's harder to be great if you're quote unquote black. Okay? Neil deGrasse Tyson told a story. I think he's astrophysicist, or I believe so, astronomer, scientist, and he's like, "You're the only black scientist," and he basically told him, he's like, am I an anomaly? He was like, "Yeah, I'm an anomaly because I'm here, but there were other black kids who liked science, but they just got beat down by the educational system because they were black kids and they were smart." Like, think about it. What about the movie about the true story about the ladies at NASA? I forgot the doggone name of the movie. Taraji P. Henson was playing in it. Whatever. She was playing the mathematician at NASA. But it's a true story. Do you understand how many times a kid like that was told, no, go to, even in the 80s, I was a smart kid. Now I was sent to detention for being smart. So I was like, okay, I see what you want. You want me to be, yes, I was dumb, boss. Ooh, you gives me an A's or B's for that, won't you, teacher? Yes, I don't know nothing. Thus that stereotype that these black kids in school play stupid and they're stupid. They don't ever answer questions. It's because you're groomed to not answer questions, because when you do, you get in trouble. Like, that's the part of the school system, which turns around and you go, these other people are so smart. Yeah, because when they say, hey, I know the answer to that, you go, give me the answer. That's what I'm talking about. It's positive and negative reinforcement for go different when you put a race in it. Now, what's interesting about this is, people act like, how high does this go up in society? And there was a clip of Diddy. I think he was on Ernest Leisure, and it was like, you a billionaire, and he was like, look, don't let that stuff fool you, because I got the money, but in these rooms I'm not necessarily welcome. Which means, even in the upper echelons of the rooms of quote unquote money and power, it's a racism thing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're supposed to just shuck and jive and and dance and entertain me. Well, you're trying to do something bigger than that. We got to shut it down. So, and this idea that over and over again, people wonder why, how come you black Americans aren't as successful as everybody else? And it's partially from this interference. And it's like, what about make your own stuff? I'm glad we got to that point. Because when we're working within the system, you deal with things like that. You would be great if you weren't black. But you know what? Since you're doing what you're doing, I'm going to get somebody white to do exactly what you're doing. Because that's what the whole Michael Jai White thing was about. They were asking him to find a white guy like him. And if you can't find one, well, just going to hold off. Using him in the sense of martial art movies. If y'all don't remember, that's how David Carradine really got his start with the show Kung Fu. That was really a Bruce Lee idea. Bruce Lee pitched that. Bruce Lee wanted to be the star character, but Bruce Lee is Asian. He's Chinese. So guess what? They didn't want Bruce Lee. They wanted a white guy. So they got David Carradine and basically pushed Bruce Lee out of his own idea. That was, 70s, I want to say? So fast forward to now. Think about, one of the biggest franchises is The Matrix. Same issue. How Underworld, as far as like action horror, was a success. People find out, whoa, guy who wrote it is black. Tyler Perry was doing great until they found out how much money he made. And it's like, oh, shut it down. So, and the reason I talk about YouTube and social media, because you see it over and over again. Like, are people throttling down numbers? Are people actually shadow banned? Are people messing with people's channels and pages? And it's like, yeah, but one of the differences you see is when it comes to good content that doesn't fit a stereotype, if you're black and you don't fit a stereotype, it's harder. And somebody who's non-black, who's the same way, somehow blows up. Now, some of this, I gotta say, it deals with numbers, because we as a population, we're a smaller number. So a lot of the stuff we do, that doesn't mean other communities gravitate to. And on the flip side, I know that can also be a lie, because a lot of communities watch what we do because they know we're undervalued and lowballed in America, and they'll watch what we do and then emulate that exact same thing. Case in point, it took a comedian to come out and say this years ago. They were like, so everybody likes American Idol? Like, yeah, it's the greatest show ever. I've never seen anything like it. He's like, that's Showtime at the Apollo. That's all that is. Except Simon was the crowd in the Apollo. Simon was the person that booed. That was it. But it was Showtime at the Apollo, right? Or, if you want to go Star Search, it was nice at Star Search. Star Search didn't boo. That's what the Apollo would do. So, Showtime at the Apollo. So at the end of the day, what you wind up seeing is the idea of we're looking for equality and equity and everything is fair and it's not what it used to be. That's not true. It's just different. It's unfair differently. And the reason why I say it's different is because now people could put their experiences out in social media. People can put their experience out in life on camera. And you see how people are treated differently. Same thing, if y'all recall, when Ryan Coogler walked into the bank. The lady at the bank was black. She was like a Caribbean lady. And this black guy walking here for exercise for a lot of money. He must be trying to rob the joint. How did you get that? Didn't make sense. But other black men have went to banks and had that issue with regular blue collar jobs. They're trying to cash a check. Let's call the police. It's like, would you have those problems if you weren't black? No. But you have those problems if you're black. And so the same thing that goes with the stereotype of making your life unsuccessful, it works with the stereotype of making your life successful. I was talking to my lady about this recently. She asked, is racism still in the NFL? And I was like, look at it. I was like, yeah. If you're white and you're great at something, the media will pump you up greater than what you are. If you're black and you're on the same level as greatness as that, you don't get that kind of push. That's just the reality of it. She's like, I never looked at it like that. I said, look at it. It is what it is. And if you compare two black people together, it's like, they're going to go with the lighter one. It is what it is, But that's the society we live in. And sometimes it's just, we have to talk about it. Not necessarily to ask America to change, but to inform people that look like us. This is still happening. This is going to happen. But tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace. You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna take you.